M I A Men in Armchairs. The following show will feature some language and content that may offend some people. If you feel like complaining, simply save us all the time and energy and turn us off now. With that being said, Men in Armchairs proudly presents to you Yes, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The show that you've never known that you missed and probably didn't miss a great deal because, well, let's be honest, it's been a while since we've recorded one of these properly. It is myself, the Geek King, the Cash Brew, if you will, with Stevie Boss, Steve Jones 313. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
He gets it. And this, of course, is the must-see, must not miss, always on time, sometimes uploaded, TotalMarkOut, if you will, baby girl, if you will. And we are no longer doing our segments of This Week in Wrestling, where Cena wins.
Yeah.
We are no longer doing You Gotta Watch, because I do that anyway.
You gotta watch. Cha-cha-cha.
We're not doing fucking Fan Corner. Well, kind of. And we're not doing the plug. That's an old school one.
Yeah. Or any kind of jingles. or any hashtag.
No. This is straight up
This
total markout. And of course,
hashtag free. Sure.
I mean, it's a lie. I will be putting hashtags when I upload it.
Oh yeah, I get.
And put it
Yeah,
on Twitter,
but at least not the fucking tag.
Not on the actual show itself. So that is pretty good.
Yes.
Anyway, as I said, we're not doing Fan Corner, but the entire episode's kind of a Fan Corner.
In a way.
Because
yes.
back in the day, we used to send in your questions, and god damn it, you did. Even though, let's be honest, we were shocked that anyone was actually doing that. While Boss drifts off into the side of his own skull on the off camera.
Hey, I was making sure my phone was shutting the fuck up.
But as I was saying, the fan corner, we got messages, we answered them. And unfortunately, though, a lot of them were more complex answers, and we couldn't do that because, well, we had 30 seconds per fucking question half the time. Otherwise, each episode would be like 4 hours long.
Yeah, we just didn't have the ability to answer them in depth as much as we'd like to, and some of them were really deserving of more time. You know.
Exactly, and that's why we've decided that from TMO from now on, we'll be doing what we call specials. There'll be no weekly recaps. There'll be no, like, what do you think about what Uncle Dave said? I couldn't give a fuck what Uncle Dave said.
Fuck Dave Meltzer.
Dave Meltzer in the 90s doesn't like beautiful blonde women, and I don't know why, because they're beautiful blonde women.
Sense.
Like, this is a little bit of a rant before we start.
Go for it.
In the 90s, Dave Meltzer, every time Sable appeared on TV, implied that she had a new boob job. What's wrong if she did?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, do you.
Yeah.
Fucking... It's just so dumb. It's like fucking...
Also
it's like,
go ahead, sorry.
I was say the same thing happened with fucking Charlotte though. Like Charlotte, gets a boob job, and what's everybody's fucking reaction? Like, oh fucking, she really did it. It's like, so fucking what? It's like, let's all not pretend that. Whilst yes, we are fans of women in wrestling. We like women wrestling. We like seeing the style, the skill. Like Bayley and Sasha Banks, for example, fucking fantastic match.
Yep.
The matches between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, it's just great stuff. But they also be hot, and we like hot.
But he's a but.
Well, yeah, I say but. We like hot as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, no. So if a lass goes, you know what, I'm going to get a boob job because I want to have big boobs. Fine. Even if their thought process is I might get more TV time, that's their choice. It's their fucking stuff. And you know what? People like it.
Yep.
Fucking shut your mouth enjoy what's on the TV or watch a fucking different thing.
Yes, and
Go.
the irony being, I said it was a little bit of a rant from me, and actually
And John
turned into
Cena
a
won.
rant, and it turned into a rant from Boss hitting with one of my old catchphrases. What I really like, I would love it, if he said that about Sable in today's day and age. And not for me to, not for the fact that she's a more mature woman or anything like that, but simply because of her husband.
Ah, yes. Maybe not, shit on, figuratively speaking, shitting on, Brock Lesnar's wife.
Yeah.
But if it's Dave Meltzer doing it, then
I don't want to see it happen.
there's a list. There's a list we'll have to do one day. The list of people we would like Brock Lesnar to just shoot with.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll put that in the bank. But as we were saying before we got off topic, which if you're a fan of Total Markout, no shock there. Hell, if you're a fan of us two doing shows in general, no fucking shock at all there.
I mean, I'm shocked, but for very different reasons. But
not shocked you were capable of doing it again. Today's question that was sent in a while back, I think this is one of the last ones we got sent through on when we were doing them properly, boss. So not the last couple of episodes,
yes.
But we were actually doing them properly. Could you do a dream booking, a WCW versus WWF/E? The only rules that we had was that you could have any wrestlers that you wanted from any different time period, and that once you chose one, though, you couldn't use it for, say, another one. For instance, if you chose Canyon, just throwing it out there, and you said, I want Canyon as Mortis in 97, you wouldn't then be able to turn around, or I think 97, 98, and say, oh, but I also want later on in the show, because, oh, better than Canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't have, I want Canyon with DDP and Bigelow in the Jersey Triad at a match because you've chose Canyon. So that was the only rules that we had. And you also couldn't say that if you wanted, say, Nate, if you wanted to choose Nate in WCW, you again couldn't choose them for the WWF and his run there, or even WWE. So that was set up, and it was pretty. I was pretty thrilled about it because it's kind of how I dream book and that. And Boss was intrigued. Wasn't sure about how he would be doing with the WCW side of things, but over the time that we've had since that question was asked, and since we're recording it today, which I think is roughly about 3 years, Boss is not, I wouldn't say purposely went out there and upped his knowledge in WCW, but just generally through osmosis and conversations with myself or footage that we've watched, has got a bit more of an understanding and he was happy to do it.
Yes.
So with that being said, we have a full card each ready to go. I have 13 matches because I don't do things by half. And Boss has 12 because I told him I got 13 matches and he went, okay, I can do 12.
Yeah. I think that conversation started with like, oh, I think I've got 9, and I went, okay, I can probably do it. And then you're like, oh, okay, I've got 10. I'm like, okay, I can probably do that. And then it just kept going up. It's like, okay, I'm stopping at 12.
Yeah, I think it was basically because I turned around and was like, I forgot about him or them. Oh, that would be good. And then I could put them against it. Basically, I could have done an infinite card on this and just kept going and going and going until you got Dwayne Gill versus like fucking Dave Metzler, which is a real jobber that you had back in the day, mate.
Of course.
It was UWF though. So basically, the UWF had Dave Metzler, and he was a jobber. Got absolutely annihilated by Dr. Death Steve Williams, I believe, and then they threw dirt all over him.
Ah.
And shoved paper down his mouth.
So, I have to admit, I would be interested in seeing how the cards that we've booked would have done in like a TUW rating system. You know, it would take far too long to try and actually do it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I wonder if I could put this together. We'll see how it pans out.
I'm just looking at the areas I've got, and there's no way I can put all that together. Like,
I could probably one night when I'm not sleeping, as per usual.
But tonight.
Well, yesterday I was. It's too long a rant. Put simply, I don't want all these episodes to be just about my fucking F&D bullshit. But I bet I could put this all together at some point.
But there is a link in the description below that will have a not a rant, but a description of what F&D is.
Oh, thank you.
All right, I've got to remember to do it.
Don't forget, in the description of the video, there's also a link to some fantastic merchandise, like the TotalMarkOut shirt behind Geek, or the bookmark t-shirt, all available on Redbubble.
That's GW3KKING.redbubble.com.
In the description below. Bye.
Right, let's start.
All proceeds go to the Geek King charity, which is there to support Geek King and his absolute need for beer.
That was a parody, not a real charity. Well, I'd make sure that was known, because there are people that will hear charity and just go...
I was about to make a joke that would get us in trouble, but no, I shall not. We shall continue with the booking, sir.
All right, I'll start it even.
Yes.
Let's put it dead simple here. We've got a full card. We've got 2 full cards, and I think, Boss, you start the show. How do you open up your WCW versus WWE card?
So, for my WWE versus WCW card, or WCW versus WWE, whichever way you want to flip it, I would have, I think all of mine are written as WWE versus WCW, but the pictures might swap, so it's all grand. But I
tried to keep it either side, so...
Yeah, but my first WWE versus WCW match would be basically stable versus stable. It is Team Extreme versus the Fabulous Freebirds, which is Matt and Jeff Hardy with Lita versus Michael Hayes, Jimmy Garvin with Precious.
Wow. Now, Precious didn't do a great deal of wrestling, but she did a little bit. But I think Lita gets the advantage on there, and oof.
And you got to think about the history. Obviously it wouldn't really play into this particular thing, but early with the Hardy Boys in WWE, Michael Hayes obviously was their kind of manager, if you will,
mentor,
so it's an
if
interesting
you will,
thing. Yeah, but I reckon this would be a good opening matchup, to get the crowd warmed up.
Oh yeah, definitely would, definitely, because I mean, here's the thing: if you have PS as well doing a promo beforehand,
yes,
the crowd will be red hot, especially if you want them to be heel. As you said, the history between the Hardy Boys and Hayes. Hayes brought them out with being jobbers, and then gave them their look that became synonymous, especially Jeff's pants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then even backstage though, Jeff. I think maybe to this day, Jeff Hardy's road agent is Michael P.S. Hayes. So, yeah, that'd be a great one. Jimmy Jam Garvin is an unbelievable in-ring talent. It's one of those weird ones where he was billed as I believe in TV, he was billed as the brother of Ronnie Garvin. But in reality, I think, and I may be wrong here, but I think in reality he was the stepson of Ronnie Garvin. So, but hell of a talent, and like I said, Precious didn't work well a lot. But we know exactly what Lita can do, and if we're going with Team Extreme Lita, then she was maybe the most over person in the roster at one point. I generally, if you go back and watch early 2001 videos on the network or wherever you've got them, there are moments on Raw where the pop that she gets is just as loud as Austin and Rock.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So what about your opening match?
Yeah.
I don't like the sound of that.
My opening match is a fatal 4-way tag team match.
All right, okay.
Where you have Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express in the 80s. Mid-80s, pure rock and roll.
So is this with Cornette?
No, Cornette was midnight. Who is next? Midnight Express, which is James E. Cornette, beautiful Bobby Eaton, and Sweet Stan Lane. Yes, I went with the second version of it. It's my preferred one, between 87 and 90, roughly. And then it's your boys, the New Day.
New Day.
We'll work that on that. And it would be, I know. And then it will this particular time be Big E and Kofi.
Okay, that's a good combo.
And then it's against a little tag team. You may have heard of them, boss. It's Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder, The Revival. Up guys.
Say yeah!
1,000 yes.
They go hard all day and night.
And
that is one hell of a starting match.
Same as you. I wanted the crowd moving and quickly. And listen, the Revival fits in that perfectly, and the New Day as that sort of. It's almost like a modern version of rock and roll, because the New Day is that high-flying, energetic, yeah, we're just going to go out there and do our thing. And the rock and roll were, they were literally mobbed at times by pretty girls trying to get them. And I don't know why, because if you look at them, even back then,
no.
Gibson had the oldest Shawn Michaels pose at the googly eye.
Yeah, of course, then you've got the old Jim Cornette. He's like that. Well, I'll tell you what, that these balls are the greatest balls ever. They'll pump you like mama's gravy. It's like all these kind of words and phrases that don't mean anything, but yet mean something, and you buy into it, but you don't know why you're buying into it, but you're buying into it.
And the thing is, as well, with the Midnight Express, Sweet Stan Lane was a hell of a hand. Great kick. He had some martial artists. Back then, you do martial arts to kick people. But it was back in the day. You kicked someone with your shin, and that was a martial arts kick.
Yeah.
But the thing for me, beautiful Bobby Eaton may be the most underrated worker on my entire card, because he is someone that, as a fan, you watch and go, "Damn, that's good." As a smart mark, you go, "Dude, smooth as hell." But when you listen to wrestlers talk about beautiful Bobby Eaton, all you hear is, "Dude's amazing. One of the best." Every night he went out there, just did his thing. Dude was a territory champion, I think, in Alabama at the age of 16. He was main eventing as in like the state, that big shows around the state at like 18 years old. Like, the dude's amazing, but I just think, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to call that match. I wouldn't want to say who was going to be the winner, because it could go anyway.
Yeah, I haven't picked winners in my matches. It's just whatever would happen would happen.
And I'll do something that I don't usually do on it. But how about this?
Yeah.
If you decided on the winner, put it in the comments below.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to rate the matches yourselves.
Yeah.
At the end, whose card do you prefer? What if you had to use our, cards to make one card? Which matches would you pick?
Yeah. All right, boss.
Or just tell us your own card. Just make up your own. Tell us.
With that being said, then, boss, what follows your your faction war?
So after the opening faction war, we get basically a battle that you can argue is one of two kind of themes. One of who is truly, the sexy, or you could argue it as, "Oi, motherfucker, what did you call me?" This is Latino Heat versus Big Sexy. It is the Vanilla Midget, Eddie Guerrero, versus Diesel himself, Kevin Nash.
All right. Are we going like early NWO Nash here, or are we going more later? Look as if he's just took a swig of. So we're going NWO. We're not even Wolfpack.
Yeah, this is where this is where the big boys play. Look at the adjective play.
I always skip past that because I love the fact they edit it now. They always edit on video footage. Even on WCW they did. The moment it was almost like look at this is where the big boy play, huh? And then they edit to "we don't play." It's like all right, that's a hell of a match, because Eddie can make anyone look great. Nash at that point in time was a smooth worker. Especially in WCW, where he seemed to be because he was just as big as he was a novelty. So he was was him and the Giant were the biggest men in the business in their company. So, a few times you'd see them face off, hit each other, maybe Nash powerbombed him correctly twice, not correctly once.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was and Eddie. Which year Eddie are you going?
We're going redeemed, Eddie.
Ah, right, okay. So World Championship reign, Eddie.
Yeah, right about that
that's
time.
just-
Basically, he's got his head clear. He's in the ring. Like, yeah, you could go with an earlier one where he's, not going to be in his pace much. But I'm going for the mentality here. We're talking about a redeemed Eddie Guerrero, not in our eyes, but in his own, and someone who looks at the ring as their, personal playground, a place for them to just have fun. And I reckon, backstage bullshit aside, obviously I alluded to the vanilla midget comment and stuff like that, but truly, that these two, Kevin Nash, while again not the greatest worker in the world these days, you've got to remember, we're not talking about the Kevin Nash that came in, turned face, and then managed to tear his quad, try to tag in his partner during the episode of Monday Night Raw. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a different Kevin Nash. We're talking about and again, they are smart people. You can say whatever you like about Kevin Nash. I'm not. Geek will be the first to tell you. Actually, no, I would be, but I'd be the first one to scream at you. He would be the first one to tell you politely that I am not a Kevin Nash fan. I don't like Kevin Nash's in-ring work. But I appreciate the fact that he is a smart man.
Oh, yeah.
But so is Eddie Guerrero. And I think Kevin Nash, whilst a lot of people would say he isn't, and I think there's a lot of people are a vocal minority, but a very vocal minority, Kevin Nash is passionate about the business.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just very good at the business part.
Yeah.
And I think there are people who are like, he doesn't care about it, he just cares about the money. No, he just found a way to get a lot of money about something he likes a lot.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? The thing for me is Kevin Nash if he wasn't passionate about the business, then Kevin Nash wouldn't have spent years in WCW as Master Blaster, as Oz, as Vinny Vegas. He would have done what he said to Ollie Anderson before he got his release of, I'm just going to go back and work the bars and see what else I can do.
Yeah.
And then do that, not then go, oh, can I use your fax machine? Why? I need to send this to someone. Yeah, sure. And fax his release to Vince McMahon's office and then get signed to a contract. That was legitimately what happened. Like, to me, Kevin Nash is
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Nash is no one's ever going to say that he's a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat or he's a Ric Flair or he's Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, right? But Kevin Nash did what he did and he did it well. Now, I may be a bit biased here because when I was really growing into my wrestling fandom, Diesel was the man. By the time I understood what was going on enough to follow things, because remember, as I tell people many times, I started watching wrestling when I was 2 years old. I didn't know who the fuck people were. I just liked to look at some people and cheer. Like, by the time that I started to understand storylines and just follow who was the rivalries and stuff like that, Diesel was the world champion. Razor was the coolest guy in the business, and the Undertaker was already my fucking hero. Like, and it was like, yeah, so. And then to follow him over to WCW, I was one of those guys that did kind of follow him over to WCW because we got Nitro the same time as he showed up. But the main thing for me was that I was like, well, why would I boo Kevin Nash and like Scott Hall? They're awesome. They always have been. I don't want to boo them. Then I did boo them because Hogan showed up, and I never liked Hogan, even as a little band. So yeah, I mean that's the thing, and also you've said there, Kevin Nash is a very smart part of the business. He is. He's the one who brought guaranteed contracts everywhere.
Yeah,
he's the one that made it so you had limit. You could say that at a certain point in your career, hey, I don't want to work this many dates. He was able to do. He made it so that he could bring not only your guaranteed money, so you had security at home, but also. So you could do longevity in the business.
Yes.
So, like, there's the thing. And on top of that as well, big men versus small men is always a great match. It always is. But to me as well, I think Eddie Guerrero. Everybody knows my love for Eddie.
Yes.
Eddie has always been one of my favorites. But that period of time, Eddie Guerrero in ring, there was maybe only 5 guys that could keep up with him.
Yeah.
Like in the entire business, not just WWE, in the entire business. And yeah, I mean that would be, and they are both businessmen. They would do business.
Yes.
That's what, and I think that was Bruce Pritchard again who said that he goes, when it was asked a question, who was the easiest to talk to out of the clique, and everyone assumed he would say Trips or he would say Razor, because Razor has obviously the personality of whatever, man. Yeah, sure, like, we can do that. And Trips is, his boss. But what he did, he turned around and went, "Oh, Kevin. You could talk to Kevin about anything." He goes, "You'd have to find the others on the right day, and make sure they weren't around certain people, and like you'd have to find a way of doing it." He goes, "You go to Kev, go, hey Kev, can I have a minute?" "Sure, what's up?" Talk to him, and he'd go, "Okay, like we'll see." Like, so yeah, I mean it's as simple as that. The irony is that I follow my first opening matchup, dude.
Yeah.
With Nash being in the match.
Oh, okay.
But he's not alone.
Oh, of course he's not alone.
Because my second match on the entire card is a stable war.
Okay.
Where it is Hall, Nash, and 6 of the New World Order.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Exactly. Facing off, and this will be 96, 98 era for those of you who are keeping track.
Mm-hmm.
Facing off against Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose. The Shield. Believe that. So, yeah.
That is one hell of a match.
Wow, you said that without moving your lips. I think we've got a bit of lag on your sound and and your sound and video, but it doesn't look so bad right now. I think it's caught itself back up. Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Like, I knew I wanted the Shield as a Shield, because really I could have put any 3 of members of the Shield like against a host of talent from WCW, but I thought the Shield as a unit is a better era, and I'm going obviously 2012 to 2014 when the Shield is actually the Shield. And I was like, well, the NWO is great, but I was like, but I'm not going to do, like, what would I do? Would I do Buff, Bryan Adams, and Scott Norton? No. Should I do Vincent and anyone else? Nah. I knew that, and I didn't want Hogan in this particular match. So I was like, yeah, that'll work. That'll work for me. That'll be much better for me. Like you say, I mean, that's just a simple match. Like, it's just going to be you've got the thing I like about it, you've got 2 big men in Hall and Nash, although Hall calls himself the medium-sized man.
Yeah, which is like, in which universe is that true?
Yeah, you got the only universe that's true is when you've got a 6'10" or 6'11" person as your partner, where you can go the big man and the medium-sized man. You know, that's it. That's the only place you can do that. Is where you're like, I'm 6'4", you're medium sized, are you, dude? You're medium. Like, only in the world of wrestling is 6'4" medium and 5'10" to 6 foot small.
It's just so fucking stupid.
Like, but then I say you got Hall, you got Nash, you got the speed and the workmanship of 6.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what Rollins does. I mean, Rollins has a combination. He's just fluid. He does everything it needs to be done. He can grapple with you. He can high fly. He can he can throw some punches if needs be. You got Roman Reigns, who at this point in time was literally just a juggernaut, and you got Ambrose, the This is when the lunatic fringe was just the lunatic, like. To me, it's a match that you could put that on the poster and nothing else in this card, and it would sell the place out.
It would be one hell of a match.
And you know what? I know I haven't picked any winners, but looking at it and just feeling, unless the fourth member of the NWO comes out and it interferes, the Shield take it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were dominant at this period of time. There was they beat Evolution every time, and they still got 3 matches out of them. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean that works for me. Boss, third match.
We have a 6-man tag, 3v3 here. We have represent the WWE here. We have the Artist Collective, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Shane Douglas, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn, the Revolution.
See, this shocked me because I've seen some of Boss's. I haven't seen more of them, but I've seen some of it. And Boss sent me this over, mainly for the graphics, and he was like, "Could you get this?" And I was like, "Yeah, but how do you know about the Revolution?" Like,
yep. How does Boss know about the Revolution?
So yeah,
how could Boss, who doesn't watch anything that didn't happen before it was me, Austin, know anything about In fact, Boss, you don't watch WCW at all. How the fuck do you know about Revolution?
Yes.
As Geek said before, Boss did a little research in preparation to making his list.
Yes, because threw a curveball.
Yeah, you see, despite how it may appear, Boss cares about these kind of things. Boss cares about providing top quality content, for the peeps, especially when it's under the Men in Armchairs banner.
M-I-A.
Men in Armchairs. EA Sports. It's in the game. Anyway, but yes, and I think it's gonna be. I think we have a very interesting collection of gentlemen here. I mean, their resumes kind of speak for themselves, in my opinion. But when you've got these two teams together, you're gonna see a fight. You're going to see some. Unlike a match I've got coming up, this match isn't going to be pretty. This match isn't about, like, oh, wow, that's amazing. It's going to be about Boss going, geez, fuck.
There are going to be plenty of moments in that with Perry Saturn, Sami Zayn in a match together.
Yeah.
And Douglas as well, for that matter. My thing is, though, you've got Nakamura and Cesaro in the ring, potentially at any time, with Dean Malenko. That is going to be a part of the match where it's going to be broken down to, oh, you can hit hard. Great. Watch me stretch you.
Yeah. It's strike v grapple.
Yeah, that's a great match, Boss. It really is. Especially when you break it down and you think about it.
Yeah.
That's just,
And here's the thing you've got to look at as well, because the way I look at it is, Shinsuke Nakamura will kick your fucking head off and you'll like it. But then you've got Perry Saturn, who can absorb all that pain as well, But you could have Shinsuke Nakamura and Dean Malenko, as you say, strike v grapple. But they got Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas is no fucking kid in the ring. He knows what he's fucking doing. But
at that point, Shane Douglas would have been already, I want to say, 4-time ECW World Champion, a TV champion. Yeah. And the dude often is forgotten, his ECW champion is hardcore. No, he was one of the ones in ECW that wrestled.
Yeah. Bearing in mind how he got the ECW championship in the first place. You got to remember that. But then you look at Cesaro. Cesaro could throw any one of those motherfuckers around like he was Brock Lesnar. Cesaro is, pound for pound, potentially the strongest out of all of them.
Yes. In that match, I don't think there's a potential about him. I think it's straight up in that match. He's the pound for pound strongest.
You take Cesaro against a guy like Perry Saturn, you'll see a brawl. You will see uppercuts and elbows and kicks and throws and stretches between the two of them. That will be like, you would think they would have legit heat.
Yeah.
You would think it was a shoot. Cesaro Di Malenko would be Cesaro Di Malenko would be a masterclass. That's my posh side coming out. A masterclass. How do I say it? a masterclass, thank
Yes.
you, of just how technical and, brutal they could be. You'll see shades of Stu Hart
Yeah.
in
Let
that pairing,
me stretch your
you know.
hair.
And with Cesaro and Shane Douglas, you'll get some fantastic
Catch
what's the
can.
best term for it? Yeah, and some sequences going on. And then you got Sami Zayn, who will make anyone that touches him look $1,000,000. Like, Sami Zayn will be able to do great things with all of them, like in terms of giving offense without, like, I'm not saying that he's like the Dolph Ziggler of the match, in the sense of he's like being used just to make people look good. He's going to be able to get in some good offense as well, but Sami Zayn in the hands of someone like Dean Malenko or Perry Saturn, come on. That everything in this match is built to be like, oh, I know we're like 3 matches in. Are you feeling a little tired? Okay. Rise and shine, boys and girls!
Yeah, it's literally, that's a wake-up call, that one right there.
Exactly.
We've just seen 2 fantastic, quick, fast matches. This is going to be a slow-down match. Oh, we're going up to next gear. What the fuck?
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, it's like my idea with the matches in this order so far is like, just when you thought it was done, it just keeps coming. And then we'll see how that plays when my next match comes into it. But that is my now in terms of a winner, I genuinely couldn't pick it. But if I was booking based upon the show, so you guys have mentioned a few winners. I would have had Team Extreme win the first match. I would have my heart wants Eddie Guerrero to win the Latino Heat Big Sexy match. So he's going to win. But I would probably have the Revolution win this one with Sami Zayn taking the fall at the hands of Dean Malenko, probably through a submission finish. I just think that would work best for that one. So in my world, it would be like WWE 2, WCW 1 by the end of this match.
All right, well, I follow up my stable war with a singles match. The first singles match I got of the card. And it is Raven, like full 96, 98 Flock Raven, versus the Radar Superstar Edge.
Oof.
And in my mind, this is gonna be a great match. It's just gonna be a wrestling match because that's what, ironically enough, that's what Raven did really well. And by the way, if you're thinking which era Edge, I obviously said rated R, and it is the initial rated R. So from about 05 to 07.
Yeah, we're talking about like Shawn Michaels feud.
Yeah, that's the beginning of it. Shawn, just after Randy. So basically, when his Money in the Bank started, and his feud with Cena up until probably like rated RKO sort of era. Yeah.
Absolutely perfect choice.
Because to me, listen, I'm a massive Edge head, and I have been for a long time. I loved Edge.
Yeah.
I hated Edge while I loved him because that's what he was so good at doing that. And that was during the E&C, because when I was a kid, I found him utterly annoying. But also really fucking funny.
Yes.
And then, Edge turned face. I was like, oh, this is awesome, because Edge is really cool. And then when he came back and he did... Here's the thing, I missed the entire, Matt Hardy, Lita, Edge soap opera happening before Matt Hardy started showing up on TV. Because I wasn't on Dirt or anything like that. I didn't watch Bite This. And I think our former colleague was the one who mentioned it to me. He was like, oh, no, this is a shoot, dude. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I still like Edge. He's like, no, you can't, man. Matt Hardy. I was like, I don't like Matt Hardy. I barely like Jeff. I was that guy. I was like, okay, but she went to Edge, and why can't he just move on? And I was like, I was like the 1% of the population, of the fandom. I was like, he should just move on. Let them be happy.
Yeah.
Fuck them. So
it's it's like the whole not just to add my 2 cents on that particular thing in only a couple of sentences. I've you know, I was like watching that going, this is interesting, and I can see being as a story angle, but the most, for me, I love seeing Matt Hardy back. I just hate it's like the bit before he was back, like the bit when Lita was on Bite This,
Yeah.
and then Matt Hardy calls. I was literally going, Matt, fuck off. Like that was when Lita
It
was
wasn't
saying,
getting
like, you know,
sympathy from me. It wasn't doing that.
yeah, that was the thing. Like I knew about the whole thing, and I felt bad for him. But then when it started with like the Bite This stuff, I was just like, dude, I get you pissed. Like, and again, I know
Edge
that
won me over in one thing.
what.
Lita literally says, "I'm sorry the kid's never had his heart broken before, but I'm not going to explain why I'm doing the things I'm doing."
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like,
And
yeah.
you know, I mean, here's the thing: what they did was bullshit, but it was what they did, and it's the Matt thing. And you can like it or not like it, but you know what? That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I look at them and I go, I'm like, if it had been some kind of massive thing, like, you know, oh, they plotted to get Matt Hardy fired, it'd be like, okay, fuck you guys. But ultimately, I don't. Look, I've been cheated on before. I never fucking, you know, felt the need to go on a massive revenge tirade and stuff like that. I never felt the need to like stalk my ex and be like, you know, you did this to me, you evil wench of demons. You know, I just basically went, that fucking sucks, and I moved the fuck on.
I think they also.
And I don't have thousands of dollars to play with, by the way. You know, so I had to do it the old-fashioned way through alcoholism. That's how you do it as an adult. Drink, you motherfuckers.
I mean, is it?
TMO, do not endorse the affirmation.
Please drink
Just like
responsibly.
tiny little. If you're gonna drink responsibly. Simple as. Be responsible for your own shit. You shit out in the world, you're responsible for it. Clean it up after yourself. Now, back to Geek.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing also they shit on the entire feud with Matt Hardy getting knocked out in the first match. But no, like they did.
Yeah.
But I watched that pay-per-view just the other day, and I was like, I forgot this was how this shit ended. They end the video package with, "You're going to have to kill me, Adam, and I will not die." And then he gets knocked out, and the referee calls the match. And I'm like, well, that fucking was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to my card. Yeah, and Raven at this point, Raven was... Raven felt his way into WCW, like... The front row angle where him and the Flock just used to sit there in the front row and then would have a match. He'd jump over the guardrail, then jump back over. Like, that to me was just, yeah. I mean, I'm a big Raven fan anyway. But yeah, I love this era of Raven, and I think these two just put on a hell of a show, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't necessarily calm the crowd, but it would definitely settle them into like, all right, we're getting into some wrestling show. Like, you know, it's that one where you're like, all right, let's get another beer, let's have a good time. Well, myself, not you.
And plus, I can imagine watching Edge going for that execution and then only to be counted into a beautiful even flow DDT.
Oh yeah, I mean, or even Edge going for the spear and because the best thing Raven always did when he did Raven's rules, which is this match isn't, but Raven would cheat in a match where he wouldn't have to because he knew that would get the fans more hot. Like, the perfect example is it's a no disqualification. So what's he do? He gets on the Flock to distract the referee and then hits the guy with a chair. And then everyone's like, well, you can't do that. And everyone's like, oh shit, it's no DQ, so he can. Oh, but he didn't have to turn the referee around. Like, he didn't expect to see that. It's just a layered version of like psychology that Raven was very good at.
It's basically just that, you know. It's like he's deliberately doing this to piss us off.
Yeah, it's the I didn't have to, but I did.
Yeah.
Which is, if a boss ever hears off me, is usually about a date. I didn't have to, but I did. Yeah, was that when you're in a good mood? Yep. Boss, your fourth match of the card.
Okay, so my fourth match of the card. Now, we've been building it up, but now we need to not bring down the mood, but we need to slow down the pace. But we want to keep people intrigued. So we have an ultimate submission match. Kurt Angle versus Lance Storm.
Oh. So I was speaking to my heart, man.
You, yeah. We are going for whatever. And if you're like wondering how would I be playing this, like personality-wise, we are looking at kind of like the Kurt Angle of not ECW Kurt Angle, which is obviously what I can imagine people would want to jump on, like come on, this is like a more aggressive. No, I'm thinking, and I'm going to use those dreaded words, invasion angle style face of when he's going after Austin, trying to get that title off him. The fans are starting to get behind him.
Yeah,
and a lot of people will be like, well, hang on, like, he turned heel eventually, and he still was, it's like, no. What you may not be remember is just what that motherfucker would do in the ring. Like when he was fighting. And the brilliant thing about this is it would even play into the mentality of America versus Canada. It's that, the fans would eat that shit up anyway because that's what always happens.
Yeah, I mean,
when you've got a guy...
Go ahead.
When you've got a guy like Kurt Angle who's like, the Olympic gold medalist, people look at him and they think about the whole USA thing. Like he's got the stars and stripes as a fucking uniform. It's unavoidable, so you might as well just kind of go
lean in.
Lean in. I mean, let's stop. Like, think of the visuals. Kurt Angle comes out in fucking stars and stripes. What does Lance Storm come out in? The fucking maple leaf.
I mean, especially if you're doing WCW like Lance Storm, that will be Team Canada Lance Storm.
Yeah. So basically, it's written in the stars. It's going to happen. You might as well lead into it. Just like with Paul Heyman said, they're going to chant CM Punk. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to talk about CM Punk. And then they're not going to be talking about CM Punk anymore. And that's what's going to happen here. They're going to do the chanting anyway. And then what will happen is they'll start doing that USA, but it won't be... What will eventually become about is those USAs will become, let's go Angle, let's go Storm.
Yeah.
Because that'll be what happens. And, this match is going to be able to calm the pace down, make things more methodical, and get people, whilst they're still invested in this, what's going to be a fantastic match, it will eventually lead to people being able to calm down a bit, kind of reset, cool the jets a little bit, and be like, okay, that was a fantastic match. It gave us a chance to, chill, and we're now ready for some more action.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Lance Storm also vitally underrated as well at that point.
Oh, fucking yes. I mean, always underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, and here's the thing for me as well, is that Lance Storm is one of the few people that probably could have kept up with Kurt Angle in terms of an ultimate submission match.
Yes.
He may have got lost a little bit in a general match, but because Angle had that intensity that he could turn on and was just, wow. Like, sometimes Angle was too good. Like, he kind of lost his partners in the ring. But ultimate submission-wise, I mean, come on. You're building, especially depending on where you put it and where we hold the show. If you hold it in America, yes, you're going to get the USA chance, as you were saying. If you hold it in Canada, it's going to be obviously pro-Storm the whole entire way.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can build this as, the Olympic gold medalist who has become a shooter versus one of the last students of the Heart Dungeon. Like, come on, like, it writes itself. It's a very good choice for that, and very well spotted as well. I will see you a Lance Storm match, and I will raise you a triple threat.
Okay.
With Lance Storm, representing WCW, versus the King of Hearts, Owen Hart.
Okay.
94 and 98 for those who are paying attention. Versus the best in the world at what he does, Chris Jericho. Of 08-10, so his return period.
We got some Canadian chaos up in here.
This is basically just, it's not billed as anything other than a great triple threat, but everybody knows, if you have smart marks or whatever else, this right here is a Calgary match is. I mean, yes, you got one guy from Edmonton in there, but this is a dungeon.
And
legacy.
Jericho's from Winnipeg, you idiot.
Yeah, same thing.
I'm not calling Geek an idiot. It's what he says.
But yeah, I mean, you've got two guys from Calgary.
Don't you be doubting my love for Geek?
You got two guys from Calgary and Storm and Hart, and you've got one guy from Winnipeg. My problem is that Winnipeg is in, I believe, Manitoba, and so is Edmonton, so I always get them confused. But yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Like, Team Canada Storm versus, like, ultimate heel Owen Hart. Like, he's running around the corner, he's anti-Brett, and then he's also these Hart Foundation. And then Jericho in 08-10 when he makes his return as, I am the best in the world at what I do. Man on. Like, it writes itself, dude. Like,
Absolutely.
It's one of those ones. I don't think I need to say much more about that match, to be honest with you, mate. So what's next for you?
Up next for me is a match that's designed not to necessarily get people super amped up, but just to kind of get people on the, okay, we've got some matches coming up. This one isn't going to be a barn burner, but it's going to be a bit of a, all right, let's do this. So we have basically 5v5. It is a battle of Intercontinental Champions versus United States Champions. This is Team IC versus Team US. For Team IC of basically WWE, we have Pedro Morales, The Miz, the Honky Tonk Man, Chris Jericho, and Geek Hail.
Hail.
Thank you. Versus... Versus Lex Luger, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Rick Rude, Magnum TA, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
That's just a fucking amazing match. And hey, guess what? For old school fans of Total Markout, we finally have someone for Pedro Morales.
We finally have something for Pedro Morales.
Not the fact he's a former WWF champion, or the fact that he was the first ever Triple Crown champion, or that he was Puerto Rico's favorite son at one point. No, it's the fact that we finally put him in a dream match situation. We finally have something for Pedro Morales.
And it was Steve Jones 313 that did it.
Which means, technically, guys, I still have nothing for Pedro.
Fuck!
The show we do, but Geek doesn't.
Yeah. No.
But
Geek
yeah,
don't play that game.
That's great. I mean, think about the teams you've got there. I like the fact you put Rick Rude on the US title. I always think of him more with the Intercontinental.
Of course.
Champion. But that's because he had that on it. That's the feud with Warrior rather than the feud with Sting.
Yeah. It's like, hell, in my TW game that I'm playing right now, I've got Rick Rude going against Kane in an IC feud.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just fuck yeah. But I mean, and here's the thing as well, like, everyone in that match can go. Obviously, it's when the era that is when they were champion, which hopefully you just saw a representation of. So, like,
which,
by the way,
Geek, also, great work on the graphics.
Thank you. And also, thanks for trying to make me find a fucking Pedro Morales PNG. That didn't exist. That was fun. Now I know how jingles feel. But yeah, like, that's the thing. It's a fun one. I also like it. It's a full representation of teams and stuff like that. And also, TA, Magnum TA, what could have been on that guy. He was on his route. Yeah. He was on his route to the World Championship, and then unfortunately, a motorcycle incident stopped that. Yeah, like, he's just there's not. I mean, let's put it this way. I think the weakest worker out of all of them is the Miz, and the Miz isn't really a weak worker.
No, Lex Luger.
You've gone US champion with Luger, so I can't give you that. Luger is a US champion. I think maybe because of who he was facing, the vast majority of times was just a great worker. He hadn't lost his heart by that point. That was a problem. Like, he came to Vince. Vince said he wanted to do just bodybuilding, and then when that collapsed, he brought him into the WWE and gave him the narcissist. And I think because of the Lex Express thing, he lost his heart until he went back to WCW, and he kind of found it a little bit again, but he was never the same. when he was Lex Luger US champion, he was just coming off a hot feud with Flair, and then he feuded with I think Barry Windham for the championship. So like there was work there, but also look at it was kind of who was he against. In my opinion, see, here's the thing: I always think of Miz as the weak link there, purely because of the fact that when Miz first won the IC title, that's what I think of. I don't think of the later runs for some reason. Which, you know, if you put the later run Miz, yeah, you're quite right. But if you put like earlier runs, I would give Luger the edge. But it's personal opinion. It's not like there's anything wrong with either statement, other than the fact that the comments may say that I was absolutely wrong.
Yeah, I think probably what the thing is, there's going to be two kinds of people. There's going to be kinds of people like me, you know, who are like, they look at Lex Luger and they have that thing of like, he's fucking there. But then you're going to have people like who will agree with you, but not for the reason that you're given, but they'll just say, well, they hate the Miz and they think he's a piece of shit, and they don't consider him, and even though he can work. He fucking can work. Yeah. And whilst I have flip-flopped on the Miz so much, like I flip-flop more on the Miz than Big Show turns. Yes. Okay? And the reason for it is because he does a good job at pissing me off and then bringing me on board. Yeah. He's just good. And if you say that the Miz can't work, you don't know how wrestling works. And that's the bottom line. Like, there are lots of people you could look at in ring and go, they can't work. Like, I look at people like Nia Jax, who I'm like, she's not ready. Could she be really, really good in the ring? Oh, absolutely. Will she be a fucking, you know, along the lines of a fucking Charlotte Flair or a Sasha Banks? No, of course not. You know, would she have the same kind of wrestling prowess as a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? Of course she's fucking not. But you don't judge a fish's ability by how well it can climb a tree. You know, Nia Jax, like, here's the thing. There are 1,000 wrestlers who are better at wrestling, at the submissions or the flips, whatever you want to call it, than Stone Cold Steve Austin. They are. Simple as. Like, that's a fact. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. There are people who Austin himself will say there are better wrestlers at the actual mechanics. But that's not all a wrestler is. There's more to that. Nia Jax, if she can tighten up the work, and, you know, and I always joke about how much I hate the bitch, you know, but I really, really actually don't. It's like one of my pet projects in the TW game playing is I'm waiting for her to debut in wrestling so I can take her away and start immediately trying to train her up, because Nia Jax could be what we didn't get with Amazing Kong or Awesome Kong in WWE, because you know, she ended up being pregnant, and you know that. No, I have nothing wrong with Amazing Kong or Awesome Kong. I know there's a lot of shit backstage, like with stories that we don't know the full story of. All I know is I wish we'd gotten to do more with her.
Karma was a great idea.
Exactly, and I think Nia Jax could work. You know, by the way, just to get us back on this, because I know I've taken us off point here. In the Ultimate Submission match, I was, in my head, playing with the idea of a draw, but that would have sucked the life out of the room, so I would have a last-minute win for Kurt Angle. You know, like a last-minute...
Full heel. You have a draw.
Yeah.
You have Angle as the face, say, let's go 5 more minutes, and Lance Storm going to shake his hand and then walking out the ring.
See, I'm not that clever.
That's how.
You know, I'm not that clever. I'm not that clever a booker. In this match, though, however, Team IC versus Team US, I would have Team US win. Not because I prefer the US title, not because I prefer that team, but because I think, you know, it represents a change of direction in the night. Again, it's not so much a Survivor Series style thing. Our premise is WWE versus WCW. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the mindset that the fans.
The show may not be presented as it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Fans will be counting who wins more matches.
Yeah, of course they will.
But we don't have to present it that way.
All I'm saying is, I'm not having Magnum TA on a team that loses.
I'm not. Especially with the rest of it, the rest of that crew, man.
Exactly.
That's just,
Magnum TA wins at WrestleMania. Ends off. That's the end of it. You know, that is the end. And no, we are done with that, and we move on.
We move on to my match.
We do, and I'm worried because you've been killing it so far.
Mine is a fatal four-way.
Oh God, here we go again.
Hey, boss. Try and pick out the weak link on this match.
All right.
We have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from 1989 representing WCW.
Oh God.
Taking on the 01 and 05 version of Kurt Angle.
Oh fuck.
Taking on the 1989 to roughly 1995 Great Muta. Versus the 2013 to 2016 Apex Predator Randy Orton. Boss doing his Kermit impression right now and pretending that that's none of his business. No, boss, come back.
There's no weak link, all right? The ref is the weak link. I'm sorry.
Don't you talk about Little Nature like that?
Oh, so Little Nature's the ref in this one. Do I have to go, okay, let me tell you the referees in these matches?
No, it was just the first ref that came to my mind.
Yeah.
No, I mean, come on.
The road agents.
I was like, I sit there and went, I haven't used Kurt Angle, Orton, or Steamboat. And I don't want to do another triple threat. And I was like, fuck it, let's put Muta in there. And when you say, fuck it, let's put Muta in there, you know you're having a fun time booking a fucking show.
Yeah.
That's just, honestly, I was like, yeah, that's just going to be a great match. Let's do it. And then I was like, what eras do I choose? I was like, well, you're going to choose, like, this is it. 89 Steamboat is when he won the World Championship and had that trilogy of matches with Flair. You talked about the 01 era Angle before. I've just extended it to about 05, which is basically when he was red hot and just destroying folks nightly. Also has maybe that era of Angle has possibly my favorite Angle match of all time, which is Angle versus Taker at No Way Out. Was it 05? That was 05. And also, I mean, HBK versus Angle at WrestleMania as well was that era. Well, I think No Way Out was 06, so I apologise for anyone who was upset about that. The Great Muta, 89 and 95. I mean, I could even go as far to 97 when he was part of NWO and just kicking people in the heads and spraying them. So, you know.
Yeah.
Muta's unbelievable. I just wish that Vince had a chance to work with him earlier. Like, if he'd ever wanted to, get him in, like, get him in, like, somewhere in the mid-90s would have been great. Because he could have done what Hakushi they built as against Brett. I mean, Brett versus Muta is another match I could put on here, but well, you'll see why I didn't later on. And Randy Orton, I literally could have just thrown a dart at a wheel for a year and said that year, Randy. There's not been many years he's been off, but 13 to 16 was, to me, that was, I think. To me, I believe I did that because that was the authority Randy Orton. And that was, to me, almost peak heel Orton. And then at the end of it, he turns around with a face turn because of the Seth Rollins bit, you know? So, yeah, like this match, as you notice, so far there's not been many matches that are slowing the crowd down. Like, I'm doing NXT on this sumbitch, and we are just riding that roller coaster the whole fucking way. Like,
yep, full throttle. The only limitation is how far the fucking pedal goes.
Exactly. All right, boss. In the words of Triple H, follow that.
I will follow that. I will follow that with, for me, it doesn't matter who's face or heel. Okay. In my head, WWE is heel and WCW is face in this one match. But you could flip this either way around, because this ain't just a wrestling match. This is going to be a wrestling clinic. This is going to be, for me, who is truly the rebel of their time. This is Cult of Personality versus the Rowdy one. This is CM Punk versus Roddy Piper.
In a promo, though, right? We're not going to put them a match on. We're just going to have them in the ring with a mic. Oh, that's what we're going to do.
No. No. We're gonna have a match, and we're gonna have CM Punk, thinking I'll out wrestle this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got some. He could work in ring, but he's not as good as me. Roddy's gonna bust a motherfucker open and be like, "What the?" And Punk's gonna be like, he's not supposed to be this good." They're gonna have a fight.
So you think you can do
and
that?
Yeah, and then Punk's gonna like, I know, I'm gonna fucking choke this motherfucker out with a fucking sleeper hold, and just to show how good I am. And then Roddy's gonna go, "Fuck you," GTS him, and then beat CM Punk with his own GTS, because that be what Piper do. He'd think just as soon as you think you're the best, Piper goes, no. And that's what's going to happen. You thought you had it all figured out, Punk. You thought you would just come in, but as soon as you had the answers, I changed the question.
You're not from rocks and a man with a machine gun.
Yes.
Fucking love that one.
And that is how that would work. Roddy Piper would go over CM Punk with his own GTS.
Well, you definitely
because... Yeah.
You definitely booked that one, and you definitely followed mine.
Yeah.
My next match is not that at all.
Okay.
My next match is basically it's a Cruiserweight Classic.
Oh, nice.
I have Brian Pillman as Flying Brian Pillman from 91 and 94 era WCW.
Ooh, that's nice.
And he's taken on the SmackDown 0206 Rey Mysterio.
Ah, right. That is a good match.
Yeah, I mean,
that's going to be a good one.
Pre-loose cannon Pillman. This is straight babyface, clean cut. Fucking smiling Brian Pillman. And against Rey Mysterio, who when he came back in 0206 was like a brand new wrestler. Like when he came back when he debuted on SmackDown, it was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, because I remember Rey Mysterio, but I didn't remember this skinny little kid. I didn't remember the fucking lad. He put on some beats, some timber, some muscle. And he was still popping moves that like people in WWE you'd never seen. So yeah, and then obviously all the way up to his world title run as well is like the era I've gone with, because I think Rey Mysterio, like the whole time, even if he wasn't in a storyline, he just had a match. He was something to watch.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and like to me, it'd just be a fun one, because Pillman, even when Pillman was flying Brian, he wasn't your typical high flyer, but he was still a really fun. It was just a really fun watch. All right, I don't have much else to say about that one. That's just writes itself, brother.
Yeah, it does. It writes itself. Well, my next match is to find out who is the best tag team. We have the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon, hailing from Dudleyville, versus Rick, Scott, the Steiner Brothers.
Oh, just wow and ow.
Wow and ow, motherfucker.
That's a great match. That's just...
It doesn't... By the way, it doesn't matter who wins. The win-loss on this one doesn't matter, because the match will end the same way regardless. Devon! Get the tables! So there you go.
I have to get him again? Jesus, motherfucking Christ. Would have hurt him.
Why did you get it for once?
Yeah, would have hurt him to get it once. I mean, come on, like,
it's always me. Always me.
But yeah, I mean, that's a great one.
Because as you know, Devon's a posh Geordie like me. That's always me, isn't it, man?
But yeah, I mean, that's a great match. Dudley Boys. I mean, I'm guessing it's their initial run in WWE. You're thinking versus Steiner Brothers, which is early 90s era probably. But yeah, I mean, that's just, not only is that like a fucking hard hitting great match, that's one of those matches that crowd is going to be red hot for the Steiners. That's just, and they're open to the point. Bubba literally turns around and says, Yeah, the tables. And then it's just
Yeah.
tables, like
Tables.
because even when, that was the thing. The Dudley Boys were heel, but yeah, until they brought the tables out, we were like, oh shit, this will be fun. Like, let's watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. Focus, camera. Focus.
Sorry, the amount of fucking stop starts we've had today. But you know, 2020, right? And
So what's your next match there, buddy?
Mine is a match that's happened.
Ah, yeah. Oh.
Oh, we are so out of link.
In real life or on my card?
No, in real life.
All right, we'll give it a moment.
I think we're fine. Yeah. You have to speak for me to find out if we are. There we go. Yeah, like Discord just got a little slow down. That's all.
Was it doing the whole? I will find you.
I mean,
we shall be on the battlefield.
I mean, it literally just did that as you did it. You did that, and it went. It sped it up, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's fucking great."
That's amazing. Oh, you gotta keep that.
Oh, I'm not changing anything.
Yeah. Okay.
All
so
right.
yes.
Yeah, my match is happening in real life, but not with these particular eras of these superstars.
Of course, yeah. That makes sense.
So we're going to go to 1996 to 1998 of WCW. Okay. And we're going to get their people as champ. We're going to go like this and feel the bang with DDP, Diamond Dallas Page.
Okay.
But then we're going to go to 2007 to 2012. And we're going to see what he can do against the Phenom, the Demon of Death Valley, the Undertaker.
Interesting.
The reason for this is basically DDP in 96-98 was red hot as a face, and 07 to 2012 Taker would be more likely to sell a little bit for him.
Oh yeah.
And they won't have the excuse of, but he's the stalker. I can't sell to my wife's stalker. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, and you know, I'm a fan of both people as we mentioned earlier about Taker, obviously. And then when it comes to DDP, I think there's a really good chance for DDP to have a good match there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would definitely want to see that match. And I would have to say, though, my next match involves Diamond Dallas Page.
Ah.
It is the Clash of the Cutter. It's not Johnny Ace. It is RKO. Ricky Thornton versus the Diamond Cutter. It is Randy Orton versus Diamond Dallas Page.
So do we have the Legend Killer here? Is this? Oh, what era are you going with Orton?
We are dealing with the. I would honestly say, you know, the Randy Orton we would go with is like the Randy Orton of now.
All right.
Like, because at this point the RKO is truly established as a lethal weapon. The program would be like, "Hey kid, nice cutter," you know, and it's the idea of, "Oh motherfucker." It's like, motherfucker, I'ma kill you and your legend. You know? And Diamond Dallas Page is going to be like, you can try. And it'll just be the...
Vince, I used to do a cutter. Can I do the match?
No, Johnny, now's not the time for you. You're not involved in this
Vince,
match.
Your arms are so vascular.
Johnny, not now. Like, look.
I was the first one who did a cutter.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Go and tell that to Triple H. Go on. You know, he did the cutter for a bit as well because, you know, you showed him it. Go talk to him about it.
Well, I
Not now, Johnny Ace!
I will stay here and bake cookies with you.
I don't like your cookies, Johnny!
I fucking broke the fucking call. We just got distortion and just like, nobody wants to bake the cookies, Johnny! God damn Discord. Like, come on, guys, put it together.
At least it's not Skype.
Yeah. In reality, that'd be a great fucking match, and probably a decent feud as well to go for afterwards. Yeah, this era Orton, you could probably even, I would say you could probably go back to like Age of Orton as well. If you wanted to.
You could. Oh yeah, you absolutely could. Like you could pick almost any. But the reason I go with nowadays one, it's not just for the establishment, but it's also the mindset. Like not only as a character is he more dangerous, but he's also just like the Eddie Guerrero situation.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like, you know, he's matured. It's understanding. Trying to be, a leadership position. And it's that kind of mentality I look at as well. If we were doing just pure character, we're talking about kayfabe, not caring about backstage, whatever. Absolutely, you could go with any Randy Orton, starting from Evolution.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's
what
why
about
I picked
the Randy
now
News
one,
Network?
No.
But he was giving us updates on his bad shoulder, which thanks to a stewardess was feeling a bit better.
Geek, I will stab your dreams. Stop.
What dreams?
We do not talk of. Oh yeah. Anyhow,
let's not get too real.
What match is your next? What? Let's not shoot. What's your next match, then, buddy?
I'm gonna go with a technical masterpiece for the next match. In a match I think you would really like as a fan.
Okay.
We are gonna go.
I love me some technical wrestling.
We're gonna go with 1996 to 1998. So Cruiserweight 2 Horsemen, Iceman D. Malenko versus 95 to 97 predominant world champion Bret Hitman Hart.
Gotta see some stretching.
You're gonna see some fucking wrestling. That's what you're gonna see, homie. What about them graps?
Well, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like that to me. That's just I knew I wanted a Bret Hart solo match, and I was like, where? I actually spent a wild time working out what I wanted, and I was like, right, if I'm doing this era, and then Malenko came to my mind, I was like, fucking yes, like
yeah, absolutely, fucking. I don't like Bret Hart at all, but I would watch that match. I would watch the shit out of that match.
The thing is like, you're not a Hart fan at all. Like, you've made it clear on a few shows that we've done, and probably a few shows that we would do in the future as well. Because
I'm not a Bret Hart fan.
Yeah, but you appreciate what he can do from a technical standpoint.
Damn right. Damn right. In-ring performance,
yeah.
No question. Just don't put a mic in his hand. Yeah,
let's put it this way. You're a Hitman fan. You're not a Bret Hart fan.
Exactly. There you go.
All right. So and also I think that match wouldn't, like I said before, it's the only match I feel that would slow the crowd down enough that you can get a breath, maybe like quickly, like in between, go for a toilet, try and get a beer, and then from there on it is pretty much just fucking go for me as a heads up. So, boss. How do you follow that match? Go for it, man.
Well, obviously, my last match, we had, a battle of eras. In my world, Randy Orton would go over Diamond Dallas Page. As much as I would want Diamond Dallas Page to go over, Randy would establish himself as the new king of the cutter. But you had a technical masterclass. So I would. Mine is going to be what you call more of an attraction match. This is not about skill. This is just about, okay, what if? So in a straight up fight, we have the chairman versus the president. We have Vincent Kennedy McMahon versus Eric Bischoff with special guest referee Bang! Mick Foley. And that will happen right here at WrestleMania.
That is the opposite of what I put on show, there, isn't it? That's the complete. I put that on. That's the complete opposite of just let's go out and entertain the folks. And who'd have known? It only took 20 years in a dream match for Bischoff to finally get his answer with Vince.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm all for that. It's a fun match. It ain't gonna be a spectacle, but it might be a fucking. Oof. It might be a few things. Let's be honest. There, like, just ow. That's a lot of ow, really. Like,
that's a lot of ow. Both of them are just going to end up getting, the
more DDT'd and Stockport. Yep.
Yeah, both of them will. And then everyone wins.
A bit of sweet shin music as well.
Yeah, well, actually, I was thinking you could probably have is at one point, the match is getting, it's just going on, and then you have Paul Heyman just come out with a chair and be like, "Fuck both of you."
As long as Heyman doesn't try to throw a punch. I think the only person
he puts the Jew in jiu-jitsu.
For those who are very nervous about why Boss said that, Heyman said it himself in a promo.
He did. He said that.
We love everybody here. We respect
there are
everyone.
some people.
We have no problems with any organized religions or anything like that to the point where you need to worry about us hating or not respecting. We just don't give a shit.
We are the safe space for the sane. We are the safe space for those who just want to enjoy some wrestling.
How are we the safe space for the sane, dude? Look at us. Oh shit! There I go shooting again.
We don't have to be saying. Yeah, we don't have to be saying to be the safe space for it.
Oh,
we're just saying all we care about is having a good time and having some wrestling.
So many people are gonna think that we're, like, with that their audio is out of sync in this entire fucking episode. Yeah, I know, right? Hey, listen, we apologize for that. You're not out of sync. I promise you. It is just the issues that we're currently having with video. If it will make it easier for you, as much effort as I'm going to put into this fucking video, I would not be angry or even annoyed if you decide, let's just minimize this and keep the sound going. I would not bother if we were at a tab somewhere on the far end of your fucking screen. Like, it may be easier for your sanity.
Whatever works for you guys. Whatever works for you guys, that's all that matters. Just have fun, We're all here to have a good time.
Here's the thing, right? As I was going to say, though, Boss, the only person I've seen throw a worse punch than Paul Heyman's you. Your working punches are fucking terrible.
We never got that far the 2 weeks I had wrestling training. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's all I had. We didn't learn to punch. It was all bumps.
Of course it was. You learn a bump
well, that's what you do. That's what you do. You got to get the buzz along before you start worrying about actually being offensive. Offensive in the ring, not. Oh, fuck off. Can't be asked. What's your match?
My next match is a stable match.
Okay, stable match.
It is 1988 and 1991 WCW even this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's Double A, it's Tully, it's Wyndham, it's Sid, it's the Horsemen.
Okay.
And they're taking on, from 1887 to 1990, of the WWF, Perfect, Rude, Haku, and Andre, the Heenan family.
What a fight.
That is exactly what it's going to be. And I would dare Sid at all to try and post some of that psycho shit on Haku.
Yeah.
Especially this era Haku. Fucking hell.
It's it's still because of Austin versus The Rock. Who wins? Haku. Haku always wins.
Hey, who would win in a shoot fight between...
Doesn't matter what the match is.
Who would win in a shoot fight between Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle? Haku. Really? Yeah.
Can you just imagine, just like, we need to find out what, who Undertaker's going to face, who should we face to defend the streak against? Haku walks by. Hey, Haku, you at WrestleMania? No. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's going to be a fight.
Although,
and also, the promo...
fantasy wrestling wise, Brock Lesnar and Haku.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
Sorry,
the thing is like, this is going to be a fight. You got Double A, Perfect, Blanchard, and Rude. Even Wyndham, who can do legitimate wrestling in there. Haku's not, but Haku was obviously a grappler and a striker and a powerhouse, so he's there for Wyndham and Sid. And then if you want an X Factor on a team, you choose the Giant, the eighth wonder of the world. And then you let Heenan talk shit the entire fucking time. Like, JJ can do it, but Heenan, probably Heenan's my favourite manager of all time, but that's another show for another fucking another segment.
Yes.
But yeah, I wanted to get these on there. I needed to get a stable. I don't even give a fuck if there's a face on this group either. I just want to see these two fight. Like, boss.
Yes.
Thank you. What's your next match?
So, up next, we have what many would call a dream match. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I would call it a dream match in terms of in-ring performance, but just more concept.
Okay.
For me, we have the Rattlesnake versus the Streak. And not the WrestleMania Streak. No. We have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bill Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Yeah. So yeah, we have that fight.
Yeah, and I'm gonna spoil it for everyone. My best Paul Heyman on right now. This ain't a fucking what if or anything like that. This is a spoiler. Austin wins with a stunner.
Yeah, he does. He does. Simple as. Welcome to the big leagues, kid.
Yeah. Hey, goddamn. That's a hell of a spear you got. Yeah. Shame if someone kicked out of it.
Yep. So there you go. That's my next match.
That's a fucking match. Now, you from one dream match...
Yeah.
...to another dream match.
Yeah.
Because this is 1990s, 1994 WCW, the franchise, the icon, the man called Sting! Versus 2007 to 2010, the showstopper, the main event, Mr. WrestleMania, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
I mean,
that's a match.
Yeah, and honestly, I chose this because I didn't want the fucking the Crow Sting. I wanted the franchise, the bright colors, versus the redemptive. Probably the best period of Shawn's career, full stop in terms of in-ring work, 07 to 2010. It's just absolutely amazing, You've got a lot of things going on there. You've got a lot of things, obviously, to work with. Shawn Michaels versus being the one that is... Listen, Shawn wins. Fuck it. Shawn wins. I'm not going to talk this up anymore. Boss, we can't hear you. There you go.
Sorry, I muted my mic because I was sorting my nose out. I apologize. Yeah, it's a fucking great match. It's a great match. I mean, I can't fault you on that one. I would have to have picked Shawn as well. I mean...
It's not because I don't like Sting. It's just because Shawn...
No, not at all. It's WrestleMania, and out of those two, sorry, but it's got to be Shawn. You ready for my next match?
Go for it, brother.
Shawn's in it. We have stable warfare here as we head closer and closer to our main event of the night. We have D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn. That's right, the New Age Outlaws. I'm not going to do the whole Road Dogg spiel because, let's face it, I just ruined it. Versus the Four Horsemen. Woo! Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson and Tully Blanchard.
Full original Horseman.
And guess what?
Yep.
They win.
You want to bring that in a bit closer? No. I mean, that's fine as well, but I meant more there. Like,
I knew what you meant. I just decided to fuck.
Did you? Really?
But yeah, Four Horsemen. Yeah, Four Horsemen win that one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to see Horseman winning against DX. It's hard to see DX winning against the Horseman. So it's a pick 'em, you know.
It is like it's like you could book that anyway and it would work. But for this one, for me, what I see is Ric Flair with Triple H in a figure of four, and Triple H with all the rest of his help knocked out. Like I see it at the end being it's down to Triple H and Ric Flair. You know, Shawn's out, Road Dogg's out, Billy Gunn's out. We see Triple H, we see Ric Flair, and you know, we see Ric Flair getting in that figure of four. Triple H has got nowhere to go. You know, he's crawling, he can't quite get it, and then he just has to tap. And that's not a dig at, like, you know, a lot of people might say, well, why don't you have Shawn Michaels be the guy that takes the fall? Because he would sell better. But for me, it's the significance of, like, especially when you're dealing with the D-Generation X of, like, those four and stuff like that. I would say of all of them, it would be better to have Triple H be the one to take it.
Yeah, it would mean more, but it's not killing the leader because Shawn would be the leader.
Exactly.
But yeah, I get that. It works. It works great. My next match.
You can have it, but you can have it either way, is all I'm saying. But what about your next match? Sorry.
Well, my next match is a match that I may be one of the only people that want to see it.
Okay.
This match
interesting.
is just this is a brawl.
Okay.
An absolute fucking just nasty fight. Because I'm going 1991 and 1994.
Ed Ferrara versus Jim Ross.
No, I'd love to see that though, because Ed Ferrara deserves to get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's 1991 and 94, sorry. WCW, the Mastodon, Big Van Vader.
Okay.
Going against the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. I want to see two big men beat the shit out of each other.
I love the idea of that match. I really do. There's one tiny thing that I'd be like, remember what happened when Vader and Shawn locked horns?
Yeah.
And remember what happened backstage with Vader?
Mm-hmm.
He'd be fighting Brock.
Yeah, but this is early. This is 91. Like just broken his eye and pushed it back in to face Stan Hansen Vader. That makes sense then. Yeah, this is Vader where he's managed not by James E. Cornette but by Harley Race.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm 100% behind this match. 100%.
Let Paul Heyman speak shit about Harley Race and see what happens.
Fuck.
That's a man's man right there.
It's like, I am the advocate! I am... You ain't shit.
As he throws his tab away.
Yeah.
For those who are not
like
Geordie's, cigarette.
Yeah. The only reason I don't get in there and whoop your monster's ass is because I can't be bothered. It's just like, okay, Holly.
It's not.
Okay.
The only reason I don't do it because it's not worth. Yes, sir, Mr. Racer.
Yeah. If you ain't Haku, you ain't shit. I'm with you. That's a match. I get what people are thinking. Like, oh no, too big. It's like no. Basically, I want to see two wrecking balls just collide like a giant Newton's cradle and see what the fuck happens.
Let's see Brock try and suplex Vader and call him a bitch. But on the same time, let's see what happens with trying to see Vader try and power bomb Brock Lesnar. Like, all right, boss. It is time for your main event, I think, or your first main event, at least, anyway.
Yes. Nope.
Nope.
I have 3 matches left.
I have 3 matches left.
Okay, so I have 3 matches left. Well, there you go.
No, that works.
So up next.
Go for it, bro.
Yeah. Up next, we have the People's Champion versus the WCW Trueborn. We have the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, lock, stock, People's Champ, The Rock, versus the five-time WCW champion, sucker, Booker T.
It's the Booker Man, y'all.
Can you dig it? Yes. No.
Yeah, I mean that's a really fun match. Obviously, it's one we've seen a couple of times, but you know, it's one of those ones as well. Though different eras you can choose as well. You know, if you go like 01 Rock, not even 01 Rock, not even 01 Rock, but if you go into like say 98 to 2000 Rock, completely different Rock versus Booker. You know, it just is.
Yeah. It's just so fucking, like, it's just going to be a good match. We've seen it before, as you've said, you know, start with, like, SummerSlam. But it's like, you know, and again, in this one, The Rock goes over. That's my personal bias at play, but I don't give a shit. But yeah, I just want to see it. Yeah, I just want to see this. That's the end of that. You know?
Yeah, it works for me. So, mine is a double main event, my show.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first main event, it's it may be out of all the matches that I've put on here the biggest dream match that people always wanted to see but never did.
Okay.
Well, I'm going 1996 to 1998. Leader of the new world order, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Hollywood versus 98 to 2001, beer swilling, finger jesting, curl off jeans, Texas rattlesnake, the toughest SOB in the WWF, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Fucking yes.
Because I mean, honestly, I chose this anyway, but I guarantee if one of us didn't, the fucking comments would be unbelievable. But I did. I chose this for personal reasons anyway. I chose the eras because I think that was the time that I liked Hollywood the most, was actually when he was Hollywood. And 9801, there was no one in any company anywhere that was hotter than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. Pretty fucking much.
And, you know, Austin wins.
And Austin... Yep, of course Austin wins.
Stunner, bang, done. Hey, kid, hell of a run you had.
Yeah. So, in my penultimate main event, a match I don't want to see, but I can't book... But I can't book a WWE versus WCW style WrestleMania without this. So, in what I pray is a mercifully short match, we would have the WWE Champion versus the WCW Champion. It would be John Cena versus Hulk Hogan. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
and John Cena wins.
What I love is that you literally turned around and was like, listen, it's a dream card. I can book any match. I can any show I want, anything like that. I don't want to book this match. Don't want to see this match, but it's on my card. All right, shut up.
I can't do a WWE versus WCW style WrestleMania without this.
Hey,
on the plus side, I would get what?
I've done a full card with
Look,
13 matches. I've done a full card of 13 matches and don't have Triple H or John Cena on any of them.
Yeah, but like in my mind, I was like, when I first got proposed this challenge, I was like, how am I going to do this without Hogan? But in the end, you just get to a point where like,
You choose the least objectionable Hulk Hogan you can.
Look, originally it was good. Originally it was going to be like John Cena and Booker T, but then I remembered how that panned out. And then it was like, well, maybe I could do like a John Cena, Jeff Jarrett. And then I'm like, ooh, that's not going to play well. So in the end, I was like, fuck it, John Cena and Hulk Hogan.
Well, you just moved the hand from here to here.
Do you personally want to see that match? No, draw me money.
Draw me
That's all
money.
I want to see. I'm just, draw me money.
Okay, well, I'll follow up that match with a match that I personally do want to see. It's a fatal four-way.
Okay. Oh, God, bet it, man.
Tag
all right.
team match.
Oh, as we started.
Yes.
Nice.
It is 1995, Booker T, Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat. Late 80s to early 90s, Rick and Scott Steiner. 98 to 01, Jeff, Matt, the Hardy Boys.
Okay.
And 99 to 2002, Bubba Ray, Devon, the Dudley Boys.
Okay. Oh, Bubba, you get the table this time. I mean, lazy bastard.
Listen, I was sitting there going, I need a match that can somewhere in between the main events bring something different. And I was like, I have 8 people that I really like to book, but don't want to book 2 more tag team matches. Fuck it, smash.
Yep.
It'd be a great match. It'd be fucking awesome.
I love it.
Hell, approximately 4 of my all-time favorite tag teams as well. So it's awesome. And Dudley Boys win.
Oh yes.
Bias.
I love
know,
that.
but fuck it, Dudley Boys win.
So, it's time for the It is. Thank you. It is the Phenom versus the Icon. It is the Undertaker versus the man they call Sting. Undertaker wins.
Of course he fucking does.
I know, but just saying, before anyone's like, and who? It's like, before people are like, and who wins, motherfucker? It's like, Undertaker wins, I promise.
That's a hell of a match. I know personally that
It's the main event.
Yeah, and you've chose some fucking the great eras there, as you can see, are represented on screen. Before I've spoken.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, Taker versus Sting is that match that everybody wanted to see and nobody will see. It is one of those pure dream matches. Listen, I didn't put Eddie in this card because I couldn't think of which dream match do I lock down. Like that was the problem. Whereas I get that completely. And to be fair, this match is a dream card. It was always gonna have this sort of feel of these are matches people generally want to see because we've talked about. That's why they're dream fucking matches, guys. Like
yeah, absolutely.
These are the matches that you debate when you're waiting in line for a signing, or when you're waiting for the doors to open up, or when you've got a few beers and you're waiting for WrestleMania to start. This is what this is, man.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's a great way to finish the show as well.
Thank you.
The great climatic ending. It should be a hell of a match. Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
But I think I may beat it.
Okay.
Because my main event is 1988 Diamonds are forever, and so is the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair versus 2010 Alberto. Don't be fucking stupid. I broke Boss. I broke Boss.
Just out of nowhere. Just.
That motherfucker wouldn't be in the arena. They made a pre-show. Fucking.
Yeah. Fuck. All right.
No,
so
it's serious. It is
Ric
Nate
Flair
versus 1987. The Macho Man. Randy Savage. Yeah. Ain't no ways the top cream of the crop better than sex. Macho Madness running wild. Yeah. Dig it!
That is one hell of a match.
But yeah, I mean, come on. Yes, we saw it about, from when I'm booking it, we saw it about 5 years later. But 88 Ric Flair was just amazing. 87 was right around, if I'm not mistaken, 87 is WrestleMania 3. So it's coming off the Ricky Steamboat match. So, yeah, I mean, and to me, my heart says Savage, my brain says Flair. So it's a pick, it's a pick 'em.
Yeah.
And that's how you top the fucking. That's how you finish a show out.
Yeah.
You do that.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Like, it's a fantastic way of ending that show.
It's to me, it's my two favorite champions because Moch was leading towards WWF champion at this time. I think he won in '88 at the WrestleMania 4. I think those dates are right. I always remember the WrestleManias. I never remember the dates.
Yeah.
And obviously Nate, I don't think there was much time in the '80s where he wasn't the fucking world champion. So yeah, I mean that's just how I'd finish it, and fireworks go off and everything else, and bang, we have a fun time.
Of course. I don't think we have to describe the lighting system, the pyrotechnics,
And also Mike Chioda, the true GOAT referee, he's the referee on that one. Who? Never heard of him. Heb what?
Yeah.
Hebner?
Oh, no. They're talking about Dave.
Hebner? Nah,
Yeah.
Chioda, he's the future. I've tasted it.
Yeah. I think they're confusing him with Dave, though. Like Dave Hebner, because that's the only Hebner, Dave.
Dave was. I mean, what about there was a Dave Hebner, but he got another referee to get. Like, they paid him to get all this constructive surgery to make him look like.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But I don't think he lasted long though.
I don't think so. All right. No. So that's our shows. That is literally our dream shows. That's what we would book if we had the opportunity and the time machine and everything else. And if Boss actually had access to a TARDIS and not just a coat that looked like one. A boy can dream, right?
I can dream. Things I would do with a TARDIS, my friends.
And we've dreamed right now with our booking. See how I spun that all together? The thing here I want to say is that yes, it's it's all
you did.
This is fun. This is everything for us. This is what we wanted to do. We will be coming back with some more TMOs, and obviously throw suggestions our way, either in the comments below or at our social media, which is also linked below. But if you don't want to have a look at the link, I am Geek Streams on Twitter. That's G33K STREAMS, and Boss is Steve Jones 313. It's just like it says underneath his name, but with an at in front of it. Ultimately, hopefully, the next time we do this, Discord won't be such a prick. We won't have such a moment where we can't tell if Boss is just looking at the camera waiting, or if he's just frozen. Yeah, so that's a thing.
Yeah. And if I am frozen, is it my screen or
is it my stream or is it? That's what we got there, Boss. As you are now. As it happens again. Fuck
yay! Fun times.
Wouldn't mind it. I've just updated the fucking thing. Guys, that is our show for the night.
This is what happens when we try to do TMO.
Yeah, apparently. Right, we've had this will be a fun time for us. Obviously, we've had a laugh. We've enjoyed talking about these shows, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it as well. Everything that you need for us, you can find below. All links to my Twitch, to my street, to my Twitter. Same with Boss for his personal channel, or just wait for it to hover up above his face right now, because that's what it is. And also, you can find his social media on there as well as Boss has very elegantly showing you now some of our merch, which is available, as we said earlier, at geekking.redbubble.com. So yeah, as I said, it's been a good time for us. Boss, anything last to say?
Yeah, I look forward to doing more episodes in the future. We've got a couple of episodes that we've got planned out,
Yep.
Including a Mount Rushmore. But what could it be a Mount Rushmore of?
Oh, it's wrestling, dude.
Yeah, I know, but there are so many things in wrestling that we could do a wrestling Mount Rushmore for. I mean, we could do our favorite wrestler, who should be on the Mount Rushmore of male wrestlers or female wrestlers, or our favorite gimmicks. Or there's just so many things we could do, Geek.
Boss, calm down.
I won't calm down. Nobody tells me to calm down.
Find out next time on TMO. Till then, Marks out. Oh, you're back, are you?
See? I just kicked Stan!
You didn't kick anyone.